Today, we live in a digital world where our phones are constantly beeping with notifications. Then, shortly after you read that notification, your friend texts you with the headline of what you were just notified on. Even though we are in a world where we're feverishly getting unsolicited information, or we get on-demand information 24 hours a day that we are seeking, I always ask myself this question. Is the information that is being sent, or is the information that I secured actually correct? What do I think? Well, I've been in the financial services since the late 80s, and I have worked exclusively in the real estate and mortgage arena since 2006. And today I'm hearing pundits share the obituaries of real estate because seasonally adjusted forecasted sales for 2022 are at 5.4 million versus the 6.1 million in 2021. These self-claimed gurus are given the eulogy for mortgage because mortgage rates have fluctuated upward this year. Headlines often mislead people into thinking something, but the real story is in the article and by seeking the actual data. Sure, mortgage rates are higher, and yes, less homes will be sold in 2022 than 2021. Both of these facts are accurate, but misleading. Let me expand. In 2022, there is projected to be more homes sold than there were in 2019, which is before the evil pandemic reared its head. And from a historical perspective, mortgage rates remain near all-time lows. Welcome to special episode 149 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. My name is Kevin Martini. I'm a certified mortgage advisor and a member of the National Association of Certified Mortgage Advisors. I help families create generational wealth in real estate with the right mortgage strategy. I'm located in Raleigh, North Carolina. However, myself, along with my very talented crew of mortgage professionals, help families in all 100 counties in North Carolina and pretty much in every state in the U.S. too. I'm calling this special episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, "The Loudest Voice is an Idiot." Let me start with mortgage rates and then shift to talk about real estate home values. Higher mortgage rates do not cause inflation. Inflation causes higher mortgage rates. With these historic high inflation readings, mortgage rates have moved upwards in 2022. To me, home loans are still on sale. Let me give you some perspective. When my wife and I purchased our first home, the rate was in the mid-nines, and that was for an adjustable rate mortgage, not even a fixed rate mortgage. When something deviates from what's expected, it is called an anomaly. The pandemic was an anomaly. The pandemic created a recession. Did you know in February 2020, we went into a recession? In February 2020, before the recession, the fixed rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage was 3.8%. And then on the other side of the recession, in April 2020, the 30-year fixed rate dropped to 2.8%. The pandemic and the end of the 2020 recession created an atypical mortgage environment. Monies for a home loan was not just on sale, it was on clearance. This clearance created a surge in home buying activity. The pandemic clearance mortgage rates is no longer available. However, mortgage rates are still on sale, and they are not at suggested retail price. Check this out. In the late 70s, mortgage rates were over 11%. In the 80s, mortgage rates were a little under 17%, and that today is a credit card rate. In 1990, mortgage rates were more than 10%. When I say money is on sale, today you will likely get a better rate than your parents when they purchased a home, and materially better than when your grandparents purchased a home too. Here is one thing that you need to know. The first thing is it should always be the home loan first, and then go find your home. The second thing you need to know, it's okay to marry your home and date your rate. Almost all the families I've had the privilege to serve this year are dating their rate. All the families I've served and managed their mortgage are right now dating their rate and are married to their home. History is crystal clear. The Fed takes action to get control of inflation. Granted, they are always late to the party and they stay too long, but they get the job done. And the inevitable recession of 2020 will be in the rearview mirror. Once recession 2020 is in the books, mortgage rates would shift significantly lower. Don't believe me? Okay, let me share the raw data with you. In the U.S., there were 6 major recessions since 1980. In 1980 recession, which lasted 6 months, mortgage rates at the start to the end, after the end, were from 16% at the start, and when all the dust settled at 11.8. There was this recession that started in July 1981 and ended 16 months later in November 1982. The start rates were about 18%, and post-recession went down 5% to 13%. In the 90s, there was an 8-month recession, and mortgage rates at the start were about 11%, and after the recession, 8.8%. When that recession was in the early 2000s, it lasted 8 months, and mortgage rates went from 7.4 to 6.8. Then there was the Great Recession, which lasted 18 months, and mortgage rates dropped by more than 1%. The COVID recession was very brief. Mortgage rates went basically from 4% to 2.8%. Now, there's a couple things you are thinking right now because you are were part of the housing crisis in 2008, or someone you cared about was negatively impacted in the housing crisis. It is critical to know. The Great Recession was the housing crisis. And it's critical to know that the recession did not cause the housing crisis. Again, for the people in the back, the Great Recession was caused by the housing crisis. That's what happened there. But the ingredients that caused the housing crisis are not present today, and it will not be a rinse and repeat. As you have just heard, money is on sale today, and it is likely to go back on clearance once the inflationary pressures is relieved. And you know what else is on sale today? Homes. You will be hearing Chicken Little shouting that the inventory of homes for sales is up. It's an indisputable fact that months of inventory of homes for sale is higher in May 2020 than it was in January 2020. Oh, by the way, May 2020 is the most recent data available at the time of recording, episode 149 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. In January 2022, there was a 1.6 month supply, and in May 2022, there was a 2.6 month supply. Let me state the fact. Some of the increase is because more homes are entering the market, but the major reason is because there's a slower pace in sales, and that is not a bad thing. Let me say it another way. Essentially, right now, there is the same inventory but with the slower sales cycle. And this represents an epic opportunity for home buyers. Granted, technically, we are still in a seller's market. You see, when the supply of homes for sale is under 6 months, it's considered a seller's market. And when the supply of homes is greater than 6 months, it's considered a buyer's market. So we are under 6 months. So why am I saying that right now is an epic opportunity for home buyers? Simply put, you as a buyer have a stronger negotiation position today than you did in January. In addition, according to the Home Price Expectation Survey done by Pulsenomics, home values are predicted to essentially have a 25% cumulative appreciation over the next 5 years. And there is more. There is a housing supply shortage in the U.S. right now. According to the National Association of Realtors, there is currently a shortage of 5.5 million homes. This shortage will not be resolved in a year or even 5. It's going to take decades. Now, let me talk about existing home sales. There were 6.1 million in 2021, and the forecast is that 5.4 million for 2022. Yes, 2022 will have less sales than 2021, but remember that 2021 was part of the pandemic anomaly. 2022 will be better than 2019 and 2018, and just a little bit less than 2017. However, 2022 is not over yet. Real estate is not ripe and rotten like many tabloids are sharing. Real estate is green and growing. Now it's time to marry your home. Yes, you can still get a 30-year fixed rate, and you can date that rate and take advantage of the historic downward momentum in mortgage rates post-recession. It's my opinion. Based on history, there could be a 2% reduction in rate post-recession. When this will happen, we will no longer date the rate, we will marry it. In closing, there are a lot of talking heads peddling headlines to shock and scare. When you look at the data, it is clear. Right now is the time to explore your homeownership options. And I'm here to help. My name is Kevin Martini, and I'm a certified mortgage advisor, and I provide the families I serve with bankable guidance by being transparent with all the options. During our free consultation, I can tailor a program to meet your individual needs based on your unique situation. In addition, all the families I serve are empowered and have certainty. You can reach me by dialing 919-238-4934. Thank you for tuning in, and please share this episode with someone you care about. Now it's time for the disclaimer. This material has been prepared for marketing purposes only. This is not a loan commitment or guarantee of any kind. Loan approval and rates are dependent upon borrower credit, collateral, financial history, and program availability at time of origination. Rates and terms are subject to change without notice. The Martini Mortgage Group at PCL Financial is a division of Celebrity Home Loans and MLS 22765 with a branch address of 507 North Blunt Street, North Carolina, 27604. You can contact Certified Mortgage Advisor and Producing Branch Manager Kevin Martini, NMLS 143962, by calling the branch, and that number is 919-238-4934. For a full list and more licensing information, please visit www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org or by visiting Martini Mortgage Group. Equal housing lender.